video, we're working with your martial arts staff, both the long staff, the bow, and we're gonna work with the Joe a little bit. So with your hand in the middle of the staff, you're gonna warm up by doing this turning motion. Your hand's in the middle of the staff, find the balance. Just put your hand like that. Make sure it's kind of even. Going side to side, you wanna warm up all the muscles, the joints. You wanna stay safe from injury during your workout while you're building power in your forearm, in your shoulder, your upper arm. Just going back and forth. I have a very heavy staff here. This is the Cane Masters walking stick, 72 inches long. This is hickory. It's an inch in diameter, and it's very heavy. So I go slowly at first so I don't rip anything in my forearm, my elbow, or my wrist. If you have a light staff, go faster. If you have a heavy staff, start slowly. Put it into the other hand, pinky, palms up, just turning side to side, building that power in your forearm, getting a much stronger grip. Hello, Sandra, it's good to see you. Forgot to put on my microphone here. Make sure you can hear me in the garage dojo. There's a lot of noise outside. I think some people's power went out, so some of the generators in the neighborhood are going off. We still have power here. In the meantime, we'll see how long that lasts. We've got another big storm coming. All right, I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. You're just gonna do this for about 30 seconds per hand. Then you're gonna put it in the other hand, the first hand, you're gonna go out to the side, going forward and back. Sandra says, I'm disabled. Love your videos for self-defense. Sandra, I appreciate that. I'm glad to have you training with me here. Just turn it down and up by turning, putting your hand, watch that, putting your hand to the side, you allow the back of your shoulder to wake up, build power in those delts, those big shoulder muscles in the side and in the back. Once you do that, put in the other hand, side to side, same kind of thing, just going down and up, just warming up that shoulder, power in the forearm, stronger grip. After you do that 30 seconds, you're going back to your first hand, you're gonna do it overhead. This is really gonna wake up the back of your shoulder, strengthen that rear deltoid muscle. Put it in the other hand. So you have those three planes of motion. You have in front of your body, the garage door opener is going to come off one day and hit me in the head. You got to the side, and then you've got overhead. Once you've done that, you're going to go back in front of your body, and you're going to start turning out from one side to the other. You're going to bring your hands together, pinky to pinky, palms up, turn it out. And the weight of the staff is going to twist your arm around. So you're gonna get more range of motion, you're gonna get a better stretch. And again, if you have a heavy staff like I'm using, this self-defense staff, go light at first or go slowly at first. And then as you get warmed up, you can speed up, but listen to your body. You wanna be able to work out injury-free. You'll be able to work out longer that way. Every injury will slow you down. I'm all for learning through a little bit of pain, a little bit of suffering, a little bit of sacrifice. But when you go too far, you become injured, you really get slowed down a lot. Once you've done that, go overhead. This is the same exact motion. This is this. Your palms go back, pinky to pinky, turn it out. One side, into the other side. So it's really gonna fire your shoulders up, you're gonna feel it. You get much stronger shoulders this way. Increase your flexibility, increase your range of motion. Then you're gonna bring it back down in front of your body. Jacob asks a question about self-defense. Because Jacob, you can't carry that with you everywhere you go. I carry one professionally for my job on my hip. When I'm done working, it goes into an inner waistband holster, my appendix carry, and then I carry it everywhere I go. But I can't take it to the inside the courthouse, and I can't take it into the airport. I can't take it to a lot of places. You can't take it. So non-permissive environments, learn how to fight. Don't just try to hide behind this. Most people can't fight with one of these anyway. They don't know how. All right, put in your hand. You're gonna go down, and it's not as simple as point and shoot. It's so funny. I've been on the range so many times with so many, especially men, who buy the 511 pants and they get some Oakley boots and they start wearing their sunglasses on their head because they saw it in a movie, and all of a sudden they think they can defend themselves. And a lot can, but make sure you also know how to keep it from being taken away from you. Learn weapon retention, and then learn how to use it in the appropriate situation so that it doesn't get you thrown in jail the rest of your life and you lose everything you've got. So you're doing this sideways figure eight motion, also known as the infinity spin, and you're going from side to side, 1 foot's forward, 1 foot's back. In case you missed the title of the video, this is a martial arts staff. Martial arts has been practiced for many thousands of years, not just for self-defense. There are esoteric reasons, there are aesthetic reasons, there are sport reasons, personal interest, personal growth. Self-defense isn't the only thing. If we were teaching self-defense, then we could keep it just in the realm of self-defense. Don't fool yourself into thinking that this is a self-defense video. This is for people who want to learn how to spin a staff and strike people with it. Putting your other hand and then bring it over and back. Question is, have I ever used my staff in self-defense against somebody? The answer is no, I have not. I've never used this. I could. You could stand behind it. He could be coming in. You could point your thumb. You could stick it in his face this way. You can strike with the back, bring it down over top, bring it up under his chin, and it would work. When I was a Marine, and then again in the Army, you learn how to fight with your rifle once you run out of rounds, or they get so close that you need to attach your bayonet because they're running through your line. You have to hook and jab. And it's a stick. People have been fighting with sticks for many thousands of years. Sticks and rocks were the first self-defense tools. And they sharpened the stick, turned it into a spear. And they put an edge on a rock and made it a knife. And they attached the rock to the stick, and then they had a hatchet or a war hammer. But it all starts with sticks and stones. Then, putting it back into your first hand, you're going to do the same exact motion to the front and the back of your body. So this sideways figure eight, also known as the infinity spin, now goes to the front of your body and to the back of the body. Oh, and break that thing. Forward and backward. This is just a different plane of motion. I'll turn to the side so you can see it. At some point, you might want to learn how to do freestyle, and you start to spin your staff around your body, behind your body, up over your head, striking a pose if you want to. So it's good to know how to spin your staff in these different planes of motion. Put it in your other hand, go to the front and the back. These are all forward figure eight spin, also known as the infinity spin. It makes the infinity sign. It's also known as an endless spin. You can call it whatever you want though. These are not for self-defense. This is kind of like cross training. Same way a boxer jumps rope or skips rope. You're not going to skip rope in the ring. You're going to put on your gloves and you're going to punch each other in the face and try not to get hit. Try to knock the other guy out or girl. But you're not going to skip your rope at them. Same way you're not going to spin your staff at somebody. Not this staff anyway. Then, but you still spin it. Same reason you skip the rope. Makes you lean and fit and strong, teaches you timing distance, teaches you spatial awareness, proprioception. It's cool. A lot of people like to do it. People get really good at skipping rope past the point where there's any value. Same thing with the speed bag. People do all kinds of fancy things with the speed bag, but you don't take the speed bag into the ring. You're gonna pull this up. This is the reverse. So you have forward, striking down. That's this motion. And then you're going to reverse the motion. So you're pulling it up and over, and you're making two circles. You're making a circle here, you're making a circle here. Alita, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Danny asked, is that hard to do with the nunchucks? The nunchucks are stuck behind the storage thing right there. I'd show you. It's not, it's actually pretty easy. It's easiest if you learn how to do this with a stick. Then you put your nunchucks in your hand, and it's super easy because it's the exact same motion. This is my right hand. I have my right foot forward. You'll do that, and you put in your right hand, put your right foot forward, left hand, put your left foot forward. But you can do it either way. Doesn't matter. Some people get stuck up on certain, or hung up certain ideas. You can only do this thing one way because Master so-and-so or Sensei Sifu, Sensei Sifu, Sabum Nim, Kwangjung Nim, Dosa Nim told me, Guru said, I can only do it this way. Chuck Norris said, good guys wear black. Grandmaster Lee said, bad guys wear black. They're both right and they're both wrong. So many of those silly ideas in martial arts. There's only one right way. Everything's a platitude. It is and it isn't. Put it back into your first hand. You're going to pull it up. And then this is you just going into that side of the body, plane of motion, instead of through your transverse plane coming through the center of your body. Now you're going to the front and the back of your body. Going transverse plane to the side. Put it into the other hand, same thing. There's too many things here in the garage today. Hold on, I'm gonna move that. There we go. As soon as I get this other hip replaced, we're gonna get back into a martial arts dojo. Tired of working out in the garage, although I appreciate you guys being here with me. Other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch staffs. So this is a 6-foot bow. Look how tall that is, so much taller than me. Now it's shorter than me. Now it's about the same height. It's a camera trick, but if you're looking for what size do you get, if you want the bow, it's a 6-foot staff. Yeah, BC said he was just smacking stuff in the garage a minute ago. William, what did you order? I'll make sure you get it. William, send me an email at pasquinelli@hotmail.com or info@quantumstrong.com or pasquinelli@gmail.com. You can send any one of those. Let me know what you ordered. I'll make sure you get it right away. All right, so this is the Joe. This one, as you spin it, you're going to do the figure 8 also. This martial arts staff, spinning. Practice at home. And the reason for this kind of spin, holding it here, this is how you would walk if it were your walking stick, right? The guy's coming in close, maybe he's got something like this, he's got a bladed weapon, he's trying to slash or thrust, stab, and I'm gonna hit him with my stick. He's got a bladed weapon, but you're gonna have reach advantage using your martial arts staff. So the way you're gonna do this with the spin is you stand behind it, put it in front of you and your body. That's one of the principles of self-defense. Keep the staff between you and the threat. Now as he comes in, you can almost like a punch and then throw your thumb down, turning it over. And that's just half of this figure 8 spin. So from here, there's a very fast explosive up alongside his head, Maybe try to hit them in the jaw or the head or the neck for self-defense. And then you can bring it back and hit him with the reverse strike on the other side of his body. So that's the purpose of the figure 8 spin with your Joe. You can also change your grip. So now you can use it almost like a sword, or you can use it in the traditional way that you would use this length of staff. So your hands here. Hey Tim, it's good to see you. Niall asked, how often have I been in a real world situation that a martial arts stick with me? I'll explain that with this stick. I've only carried this like when I hike or when I go for a walk. Never had to use it for self-defense. Never had to use this for self-defense. But this martial arts staff, which has a crook at the end, also known as a cane, is a very effective self-defense tool that you can bring with you wherever you go. And people do use these all the time for self-defense and for offense. I'll hear stories. There was a prisoner a couple years ago. He eliminated a couple people who had been convicted of really horrific crimes against people, younger people. And he used one of these. There was also, during the Summer of Love, mostly peaceful riots, there was a lady in New York City on a bridge, attacked a police officer, cracked his skull open. Bad guy, she was a bad guy with one of these, but you will see, if you pay attention to it, people use canes, which is basically a martial arts staff with a crook on the end. The Irish have fought with these for years and years and years. This is the shillelagh. This is also a martial arts staff. 36 inches, the same length as the Japanese hanbo or Okinawan hanbo. So they also use these for self-defense and for fighting. The Japanese police, for many years, carried the Joe in Tokyo and taught other police forces around the world how to defend themselves with sticks. And law enforcement, a lot of them don't carry them anymore, but some still do. Some carry the side handle baton, which is based on the martial arts staff called the tonfa. And then some just carry the straight baton, which is about this long. Some carry, and I've seen recent pictures, recent video. There was a crazy person in Japan who was attacking people with a katana sword. And these 3 Japanese police officers pulled out their Joes and beat him, knocked his staff right out of his hand, and they used martial arts techniques to do it. So it is possible, but I don't know if you'd carry it or not. Now, with the spins, we've done the forward figure 8, we've done the reverse figure 8, we did it to the side of the body, both in forward and reverse. Now I want you to spin and switch hands. So it goes from one side of your body to the other side. And the way you're gonna do that, when it's in your right hand, you're gonna put it on your left. Your left hand is gonna come behind your right. You're gonna go pinky to pinky, and then they come here. Neil asks if Taiaha, I'm not sure that I know that one, no. Nicholas, I'm in South Florida. Freshly Wild asks, how crucial is wrist strength? Your wrists are gonna get super strong. It's gonna be hard if you don't have strong wrists at first, but start with a really light staff. You can get a piece of PVC pipe that's hollow and plastic and start with that. Your wrists will get stronger just doing the exercise. Danny JB asks, if always imagine doing that with a katana or sword. Does it work? Yes. Imagine this as the katana, right? I don't have the katana. I usually use a bow or bokken. I used to have these beautiful swords, and I left them all in Ohio. But you can do, you know, the way you would use a sword, a Japanese sword, with the spins, you would do the spin. This is the obiani. Think of a lightsaber. Now, where are you going to carry a lightsaber for self-defense? You're not going to carry a lightsaber. So let me answer before 1 or 2 of the people in the comment section throw that in there. You can't carry a lightsaber. No, you can't, because they don't exist. It's a fantasy weapon from the movies. But if you like that kind of thing, they do some really fun spins viewer, Ahsoka Tano, my son was watching that today. She fights with 2 swords in the reverse grip, but it's all spinning sticks, right? There's not a lot of great variation. There is a lot of variation between these two, the short one and the long one, the tall one. In fact, the story goes, the guy fought Musashi with the long one, was defeated, lost, because he kept getting his stick stuck in the trees, cut it down, met him the second time in battle, or sparring, whatever you want to call it, and then he beat him with the short staff. And I could see that. The staff has so many cool things that you can do with it. Yeah, and then the cane with the crook on the end, you can hook his leg, you can hook him in the back of the neck. There are a lot of things in Hapkido cane, which is my first experience with the cane, one style. Hapkido is a Korean word for jiu-jitsu, old style jiu-jitsu. You see the cane in a lot of different martial arts styles. You even see it in Native American styles of self-defense. You can block and turn. You can like rip the guy's hand up behind the back. You can, there's a kick defense where you can block his kick and then slide that crook up so that it comes between his legs, pull him up off the ground like that. It's very effective. Those are not, as in my opinion, in my experience, not as practical as just smashing them in the teeth with your crook. All right, with the, going back to the spins, I'm gonna go back to the long stick, long staff, and try not to hit the garage door opener. I think those, I don't wanna replace it. I don't wanna find out what they cost right now. But I'm gonna come to the side, pinky, palms up, come to the other side. And right now I'm squared up to you. That means my feet are just directly under my body. One foot's not in front of the other one. So I've got to travel farther around my body. When you put one foot in front of the other, you make yourself give yourself a smaller footprint, literally. And then it's easier to get the staff around your body from one side to the other side. And like I said earlier, this is kind of like the setup for all like freestyling and cool things that you might do, turning your body, going behind your back, over your head. The Ray Park, Darth Maul move all comes from there. So you want to get comfortable from one hand to the other hand. And all it is when it comes across your body. Now when we reverse the spin, everything goes in reverse, which means the transfer is going to happen on the same side. This is your left hand. On the left side, your right hand comes across your body, palm up, pinky to pinky, and you take it in front of the hand. And the key is you have to make sure it turns up. So when I teach you in person, everybody gets stuck because they try to grab it like this. You've got to let it turn. You try to grab it here, the hand has to turn, then you can grab it. So that's the reverse. A lot of times if you want to change it, go back the other way, just pop it. Pop it. So your hand becomes a brake, allowing you to push it back the other way, or, I thought that was going to be loud. And when you drop it, pick it up. I'm surprised this is the first time I dropped it today. Instead of using your hand, you can use your arm. You can stop it. There's your brake. Here, and in the reverse, use your hand. Use your arm, back of your arm, hand, back of the arm, however you want to do it. Let me grab my staff. Eventually you're going to get good at picking it up with your toes or rolling it onto the top of your foot and popping it up. Best wishes from Germany. Newton says, Newton, thank you for being here. Roger that. Yes, I will teach nunchaku. I taught nunchucks last week. Nunchaku. Yeah, Danny JB says, if you hit the right target, something's gonna break. You go right through here, that's a fatal strike. Doesn't take much. Funny, Gary or Jerry, I don't know. Very much pressure to collapse someone's larynx. Or you can stick it through his face, right? From here, it's just thrust. Or you can punch the back of him, side of his face with it, with the length of it here. That's the coolest thing about the staff is that you can change where you're holding it. As you're moving it, you can move your hands so that you're here, and now you're here, and your hands slide. And if you wanted to, you don't ever have to take your hands off of it when you're changing grips. And you can practice that just by doing this motion. On the long staff, you don't go all the way to the end, but if I don't put that thing right, it just slides to the ground. With the Joe, your hands slide all the way to the ends. And then with the Joe, you practice these overhead strikes. And that's going to really stretch out your shoulders. In this sliding motion, as you're coming down, pulling with your left hand, pulling down like you would a sword, you're actually accelerating the strike by putting pressure along the staff as you slide your hand. So you're sliding, you can slide vertically, come down diagonally, come down to his knee if you need to, and then you can practice thrusting, coming through almost like a pull cue, turning this hand up, and when you turn it up, that locks this arm, turning this hand over, that locks this elbow, so that when you strike, your body will move back. If you didn't do that, you would strike, and it would come back here, and then his face is right here in your face. And then whatever else, his fist, his knife, right? But if he pushes you back, you still have the length of your staff between you and the bad guy, which is what we want. Always fight from behind your stick. So you practice starting here, one hand comes under, one hand comes over, turn your palms over, the first hand comes out, second hand, oh, lost it, comes out. You lose it, just grab it again. Again, I can't stress enough that when you start, oh, you're gonna do that, you're gonna drop it, you're gonna hit yourself, you're gonna smash your glasses into your sweaty forehead, you're gonna be looking through a smudge. But then keep going. Don't think you're supposed to be perfect from the start. Don't allow your ego to get the better of you and tell you you should quit because you dropped it too many times. Dropping it is a good sign that you're growing. Once you've done this overhead, do this for 50 strikes, and then come in to the sides for 50 strikes, and then come up. And this is a deflecting block. Your hand is here, same thing as before, turning it under, this hand rolling over. Slide it back. You can also strike whatever's behind you, right? Or you can put it back here and then turn your whole body and take his knee out, striking the knee. So you'll see, especially with the Joe, sometimes it's here and then they come forward, blocking, and then you can kind of work into a strike. Ujwal Soni, good to see you. Yeah, BC said it's fun to play with too. It is. I mean, to me, it's like a moving meditation. Like if I were talking to you on the camera, if we weren't working out together, then I would just be freestyling after I practice all my basic moves, and then I would start to change directions and different strikes, and start to then pay attention to footwork, and coming in and coming out, and then up and around. And I would do it outside because I would have more room. And then if you want to get really fancy, take a tennis ball, or like a sock and put a ball in it. Tie the sock to a string, tie the string around something above your head, like a tree branch, or maybe it's the rafters in your garage if you have them exposed, or at the park at an awning or something, and then just practice striking it. Work on your accuracy, striking, and see if you can hit it, and get it to move, and see if you can hit a moving target. And then that represents a fist coming to your face. And you knock his fist out of your face. And then, camera, glad I did not break my screen that time. Block, and then thrust, bring that through, smashing him across his head. You can practice all those things. It's just, you know, fun ways to break up the monotony. Spinning is awesome, but after spinning, you have to be able to turn a spin into a strike, or there's no purpose in the spin. Like I said, spinning is kind of like a boxer or a fighter skipping rope, right? You skip the rope to develop timing and distance, speed, power, balance, coordination, make your body leaner, get your heart rate up, improve your cardiovascular fitness. But at some point, you gotta get in the ring, and you're not bringing the jump rope in. You're not bringing your spins and your wrist rolls and your finger rolls and your butterfly or overhead, your butterfly spins, there we go. You're not bringing your skip catch. I don't know if I can do that with this one or not. That's not really a skip catch, but you're not doing any of this stuff in the ring. You're gonna get into strikes. Right, so let's go over strikes with the long staff first. First thing I want you to do is have it in your front hand. You can have it in your back hand or your front hand. It just means in front of your body or behind your body. I like it when you have the stick between you and the thread, especially if he's got a blade. Now, you don't want to fight someone with a blade ever, right? But if you don't have a choice, I let someone open some boxes today. They didn't peel off the tape from my, got some gooey stuff there. I gotta clean it. It's funny, I didn't think of that, I didn't see that. But if he's got a knife, he's got a blade or something, and you have nothing but a stick, that's good. That's better than having just your hands. You don't want to fight a knife with bare hands. If you have a stick, especially a 6-foot stick, point it at him. Simply by pointing your thumb right at his face. Put the stick between you and him. Make sure you have one foot behind you so you have good balance. Bend your knees a little bit. Point your thumb, pops it right there into your back hand, just by pointing the thumb. Now you have it aimed at his face. Thrust. That's a simple first opening motion. Move him back. Nobody wants a stick coming in their face. They have to react or respond to your stick. So you push him back. If you need to, step with your front foot, following with your back foot. Closing the distance and hitting him if you can. He's got a knife, he's trying to kill you. Smash his teeth down his throat for self-defense. Taking your back hand, punching, just a straight punch, reverse punch in karate. Coming across the body, this wrist becomes a pivot point. Across the body, it stops on your shoulder, your upper arm. Horizontal strike to his jaw, to his temple, into the hand that's trying to stab you, into his ribs, making him choke on his blood, into his knees if you have to. So from here, point the thumb, thrust, punch, back hand, chop. Chopping his neck, chopping his temple, chopping his jaw, breaking that mandibular joint. Striking with that. Maybe it's the hand coming with the knife again. Knocking the knife out of his hand. Stop it on the top of your elbow. You'll see this. Every once in a while you'll see this. I prefer this. I don't like this because it's locked. I don't want it locked in there. I want to hit him again. I want it on top. I also want to protect that elbow. If you stand behind it, you practice this in combination. Point, thrust, that's first strike. Horizontal strike, diagonal strike, vertical strike. You can bring this up under his legs. If you want, you can bring it here. But for the same reason as before, I don't want to lock myself off. I don't want to get it stuck. I'm gonna bring it across the body. It's the same thing with my feet. I'm never gonna cross my feet when I'm fighting, because if you get hit, you're gonna fall back. I've never fought with a staff for self-defense or a street fight or a bar fight or anything else. I have used a PR-24 when I was in the Marine Corps. Quick, fast jab into the part between the belly button and privates will put almost everybody that I've ever seen will go to the ground feeling like they're about to die and they need to go to the hospital. Just a simple punch right here in this area. I have fought without things in my hands, and I do know for a fact that crossing your feet is gonna stick you on the ground. You get hit or you try to retreat, you're gonna trip yourself You're gonna be on the ground, and you better know how to fight on the ground. You better know some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or wrestling, or judo, or something. Sambo, Shiram, Korean style. So many styles of wrestling, right? The sumo, maybe you're a sumo guy. Better know what to do when you're on the ground. Or don't cross your feet. You should still learn how to fight on the ground, in my experience. Point the thumb, thrust, backhand, punch, come up here, push. There's another thrust, thrusting motion. Backhand coming straight down, cracking him right here in his forehead. Those are all basic strikes. You can also turn like you're gonna do a push-up with a split grip. And thrust, two hands through his teeth, through his nose, through his forehead, into his jaw, and move him back. From this position, you can then box both sides of his body, box his ears. You can take out his legs. These are just simple thrusts or simple strikes. Just think of punches, right? Your hand's not gonna turn over because there's a stick in it. You can also do it with both hands facing the same direction. This is more of the Chinese style. This is more Japanese or Okinawan style. But one's not better than the other, they're simply different. 1, 2. And you can even practice changing your hand grip like this. So that if you have this leg in the lead and then you step forward and now you have this leg in the lead, you changed your grip. If you didn't, you'd step forward and you'd be like this, at a little bit of a disadvantage. You can still strike him here, but if your hands had switched, got the switch on the palm, then you'd be stronger. So the way to practice that switch is roll your palms. And the more you practice it, and then as you come forward, turn them into strikes. So you're striking harder and harder. And then make sure you're bringing that to the top of this forearm. And then when you are bringing your strikes into the side of his head, bringing that into your upper arm, you're gonna get some bruising there because you're hitting harder and harder and harder with a stick, especially this oak or this hickory one. And then you're gonna build up some callus, you're gonna build up some muscle, you're gonna get some stronger. Yeah, John says 8-year-old instinctively knows how to use a broomstick. I was a kid swinging a broom, swinging a rake, swinging a painter's pole, swinging a sanding pole when I was a kid. I started judo when I was 9. I know I was spinning the stick before that. The answer is of course they do. Kids, and you were a kid once, you just grew out of it, but sometimes we lose touch with our exploratory self. Once you learn how to wrist roll. The way you do that is open your hand, allow it to balance on the back. Awesome. B-Man says videos taught him how to do a few basic moves when he was 14, and now he's practicing to get better. Awesome. Keep going. Don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. Keep training. You might get bored with something. Pick up something new. Force yourself out of your comfort zone. Go faster and faster, go heavier and heavier until you drop your staff again once you get good at it. Don't get so good that you never drop your staff, because then you just got good to a level and you never went above it. If you constantly push yourself, you'll get back to the point where you're out of your comfort zone and you're gonna drop your staff. And people will talk to you about diminishing returns. That's a real thing. You can train too much, and then all of a sudden you're not getting good returns, you're getting tired, you get sloppy, you need to rest, you need to recover. But that's not the same thing as pushing outside of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone to grow. Get your ego out of the way. So these wrist rolls can then be turned into your figure 8 spin in the forward, going over the back of the hand. And also spinning in the reverse, and the same thing, going over the back of the hand. And then you have finger rolls. Thank you, Alita. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you in that super chat. But just going through the fingers, it's going to do two things. I always do this when I say two. It's going to do two things. First thing it's going to do is get rid of the pain that you get in the elbow from too much spinning and too much practice with your staff. And that happens because your hand is closing, you're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And then that overwork builds that tendon in there, and you get the tendonitis. When you start to do this spinning, you're also working on your extending. So you have your flexing, that's the holding and the spinning. But you also need extending. So you go out and you go through. De nada. Fair. De nada says, gracias por tus videos y tu trabajo. I appreciate that for my videos and my work. Yeah, send me your Joe videos. Farah is in Spain, San Sebastian. Beautiful part of Spain. Going through the fingers will stretch that out, and it'll also fire the muscles that open the wrist, open the hand, and you'll balance out and not get all that pain in your elbow. The other thing it does is it makes your grip extremely strong. A lot of people miss it. They just use the hand squeezer. You also need a hand opener. One of the best things you can do is put the rubber band around your fingertips and then open. Just a simple rubber band. Sanchez says, do you strike with the spin or is it just used for transition? It's transition, and it's a fancy move. It's a TV move, a movie move. It's fun, it's cool, but it's not necessarily, it's not only not necessarily used for striking or self-defense. If you use it in self-defense, there's a good chance you're gonna lose it, right? You're gonna spin too fast because you have adrenaline pumping, the guy's coming at your face. So the best thing to do is not spin unless you're using the Joe. And the Joe, there is this spinning motion, which is a figure 8. And from this position, it can catch them off guard and you can hit them quickly. Now I said you're gonna have the staff in the front of you or behind you. Let's say it's in your back end. This is where, and you can do this also with the long staff, with the bow. But with the Joe, and by the way, bow staff means staff. So if you say bow, you're saying staff. Yeah, Alita says the rubber band is a superb recommendation. It really makes your hands strong. You should have grip strength here, but you should have extension strength here. You should be as strong like this as you are like this, in my opinion and experience. So this is my right hand, my left foot's forward. So when it's in your right hand, your left foot forward, or the opposite, you're gonna answer your phone to get it into the front hand. You just lift it up. Now when you lift it up, you can hit him with that lifting motion. This long piece with leverage from here, all the energy is concentrated here at the tip. Bring that up, smash him under his chin. Maybe he's reaching out with that knife, or he's trying to punch or grab or stab or poke you. Break his wrist, throw it in your front hand, and then simply thrust this motion, 2 arms straight. From here, slide it back in your front hand. Remember the pull cue? Pull it back, and then there's a strike diagonally or vertically or horizontally. Or you can come down and take out his knee. But from here, thrust, pull, strike, slide, slide, and then now you're striking again as you lift it up. So the way you use the bow or the Joe with these techniques, when it's in the backhand, is behind your body. Epic Gaming asked, what are we doing? We're just working on martial arts staff at home, training with it. Both spins for fitness and fun and esoteric value and aesthetics, but also thrusting and striking for self-defense. So can you fight with a stick? Yeah, you can. It's been around forever. The original, I think humans were probably born, the first thing they did was fight with their hands and their feet, and their teeth, in their head, and they picked up a rock, Cain and Abel, smash your enemy with a rock in the head, throw a rock, and then just pick up a stick, hit him with a stick, throw a stick, and then fasten the rock to the head of the stick. Now you've got a levered weight, you've got a warhammer, a hatchet, smashing somebody with that, sharpen your stick. Now you've got a spear, sharpen your rock. Now you got a knife. Put the sharpened rock the end of your stick. Now you got a hatchet. And then it goes on and on and on. And now we've got nuclear weapons and artificial intelligence, right? And F-35s and who knows what else that we don't even know is out there. EMP strikes in the atmosphere. But it all started with sticks. All right, anyway. Is it Yukito? Not necessarily, but it's close. You see the other great questions. Hello to India. India has a lot of martial arts using the staff. Silambam, Kirapati, hope I'm saying that right. India is the birthplace of most Asian martial arts. Started in India, went to China, went to Indonesia, went to the Majapahit diaspora, for all those of you FMA guys. Went to Japan, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, went west. And then you have at the same time, you have the historical European martial arts emerging with quarterstaffs and broadswords and daggers, and everybody's getting bows and arrows different times. It's like universal, right? People are always looking for ways to hurt each other or defend yourself. I like it for self-defense. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go, I'm just pouring sweat. I'm gonna go rinse off real quick. Got a couple errands to do tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna be back, and tomorrow we're gonna work with, I think that the tonfa, the Japanese tonfa. I'm gonna show you how it translates to a self-defense tool called the PR-24. I was talking to a law enforcement friend this week. We were reminiscing about the old days, the side handle baton. Such an effective self-defense tool that law enforcement used to carry. They still carry them a lot in Europe, but you don't see it as much in the United States. It's just a long stick with a handle based on the Japanese tonfa or the Okinawan tonfa. All right, same to you, Epic Gaming. Great to see you. Alita, thank you so much. Sanchez, thanks for being here. Spasiba, Vasil Fedko says, thank you. Sanchez, thank you.